Go ahead and open your Bibles to Romans chapter 1. I was telling Michelle prior to service, kind of ever since Easter, maybe just prior to Easter, but really at Easter time, we started wrestling with a lot of things, or I started wrestling with a lot of things spiritually. We get kind of inundated with phone calls from people in and outside of church, right? And it's always interesting the people who call because they have church homes that they can go to and ask their pastors these same questions. But there's this, maybe it's pride or perception we want to display within our church homes that we don't want people to know we struggle with certain things, right? And so they call me, who lives in another city, to help them walk through some of these things, right? And it's both people in and outside of church, as I was saying earlier. But the question, because we've been walking through the book of Acts, right? And I get excited to talk about the book of Acts with you guys. But this text came up, and it's part of why I asked the question on Easter Sunday. If I was to preach the resurrection, if I didn't preach resurrection today, it would make a difference, right? Because I wonder how often we actually hear about the resurrection. Do we even know what the resurrection looks like? Do we know what it means for us, for our lives? Do we know what the gospel is, right? Do we know? Not just do we know, can I find it in here? But do we know it? And so the question I started wrestling with is, are we even making a difference? Are we making a difference in the lives of the people that we see on Sundays? Are we making a lot of difference in the lives of the people we interact with on the street? Are we making a difference? If we are, why am I getting the questions that I'm getting? If we're not, what do we need to do differently to make a difference, to make an impact? Because I'm one of those who come from the camp of Christ didn't save me for me. He didn't save me to have a good life. He didn't save me to live the American dream. He didn't save me to be well and wonderful and safe and happy. He didn't. He saved me for Him. And to do His bidding and bring His kingdom into reality. And so that's kind of where this text comes from right now for me, right? And asking this question and sitting with open door and asking these questions that I'm going to ask you guys in a minute. But just really wondering where we are as a faith, as a church, as followers of Christ. Where are we at? And I always tell you guys, that doesn't matter where we are, right? It doesn't matter where we are right now. What matters is where we're going from here. If you don't know Jesus, you don't know Jesus. It's okay. You don't have to act like you do. You don't have to pretend like you do. If you don't know him, you don't know him. Some of you in here, I don't know. And I'm not embarrassed to not know you. Some of you in here, I do know. I know a little bit. Some of you know I know more. And so, where are we going? Ultimately, where do we want to be? Because that's going to dictate the level of relationship that we create. The more I want to know you, the more I'm going to be with you. The more I'm going to want to be around you. The more I'm going to want to interact with you. The more I'm going to want to share with you, right? The more I want to know, the more I'm going to give. Which is why when I do the greeting, I always include knuckle bumps, hugs, high fives, right? Because for me, there is a sort of distance that we create when we shake hands. right? You guys know I come from the recovery world, and in NA, we hug. Because we never know where people are. I said this the last time I was right. We don't know where people are at this moment. I don't know what you experienced last night. Last night I went to go check something at the ministry house, and I could hear the neighbors 2 houses down fighting so loud that I could hear them 2 houses away. And I don't know if that exists in any of our homes, but for some of us it does. And like, where are we? And who do we let into that world to know that this is what's going on with me? This is where I'm at. This is how I'm feeling. Like, I think we miss the point when church becomes, we put on our Sunday best and we smile and we don't let people know what's really going on. Like, one of the most powerful things that ever affected me was I was in a church worshiping, and the couple behind me was worshiping together. And Monday morning they came into the pastor's office and said, "We just filed for divorce." And when he called me into his office to tell me this, I was like, hold on. They were just behind me yesterday worshiping together. He's like, "I know, that's what we do here. We make people think it's good, and then we leave and go about our business." And I went, that was like one of the most powerful things that's ever affected me, to know that that's a reality within our walls. Paul says, "I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for the salvation of everyone who believes. First for the Jew, then for the Gentile. For in the gospel, a righteousness from God is revealed, a righteousness that is by faith from first to last, as it is written, the righteous will live by faith." Let's pray. Father, we come right now, we're so grateful for who and what you are, the things that you do, the ways that you work, Lord. And Father, we thank you for your love and your mercy, and we don't totally understand everything that you do at times, and the feelings that you put within our hearts and in our minds and in our spirits, Lord. But we want to come boldly before you and ask for you to take full control of our lives, to not allow the enemy to speak into our head, to tell us that you don't love us, that you're not real, that you don't exist, that the people around us are all fake, and they don't really want us around, right? But we see the work that you did for us. And we can't deny that it happened. That in our heart of hearts, that's what makes us move in the direction that we go. Father, I pray that your words are spoken to your church at this moment, Lord. I pray that you open our hearts to whatever is of you. I pray that you are glorified and honored to the fullest. We thank you, and we praise in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. And so Paul opens this text and he says, "I am not ashamed of the gospel." And so one of the questions that I wrestle with, or I think about, is, what is the greatest story or the greatest thing that happens to us that we can't help but tell people about? If you're probably between the age of 14 and, say, 25, it's probably Endgame. Right? Those of you who are laughing know what I'm talking about. Like, everybody's talking about it. People are getting mad, and people are telling how it ends. It's a movie, right? The Avengers movie. This makes a ridiculous amount of money because people are going to see it so much that people just can't stop talking about it. There's even private showings at theaters of this movie. Right? We were in Seattle for a conference, my wife and I, and across the street was a theater that only showed one movie. It was this one. And people were lined up around the building dressed like Avengers. I'm like, this is not really happening here. They're like, yeah, it is. We do it like this here. I'm just like, wow, really? But people can't stop talking about it. Why? Because it's so great to them. We go eat at restaurants. When you eat at a really good one, you tell people about it. When our kids do spectacular things, we tell people about, you know what my kid just did? Right? Our daughter graduated high school or college. They let everybody know. But the realest thing is our bank account really appreciates that she finished. We no longer have to pay for that. That's what they really meant to say. But like, what are the things in our world that we are not ashamed of? That we are happy to talk about, and happy to show people, and happy to tell people, and happy to do. And you can't stop me from telling people about things. I love talking about Western Ranch. You can't stop me. When I get on a rant about Western Ranch, I'm on it. I represent Western Ranch everywhere I go, right? Whether it be a hoodie, whether it be I wear my backpack everywhere, right? Like, I'm always representing my community. Even to the point where one of my coworkers, because I sell insurance part-time, right? I still do that stuff. She's like, that's not business professional. I said, excuse me, but it's my community that I represent, and so they go with me everywhere. I don't care if I don't have a Western Ranch briefcase. This backpack goes with me everywhere. Because I represent them. And like, what are the things that we're not ashamed of? What does that word even mean? To be ashamed of something. It means that we're embarrassed. That we feel guilt by association, right? And when Michelle was asking about, like, about being embarrassed by our parents, I was going to say when they dress funny. Right? Because some of us parents don't know how to dress, and our kids get embarrassed when they go out in public with you, like, Mom, are you really dressing like that out here? Like, really? Like, I do it on purpose. You know what I mean? I wear knickers when I go golfing with my kids, right? The high socks and the pants kind of fold over, and I'm like, it's a baseball uniform. Like, you're really not wearing that out there, are you? Yeah. Or they're trying to be cool on the course. No, man, let's do it. Right? They're embarrassed. But what are the things that we're embarrassed of? If you were to put a spectrum out, embarrassed or ashamed and unashamed, where does Jesus fit on that? In the way we live those things. Because I think it's real easy for us to look at our situations and our circumstances and go, I'm not ashamed of Jesus. I go to church on Sunday, I got Christian friends, I talk to people that I know Jesus. I'm not ashamed. But what happens when we get outside of those circles? How are we now? Let somebody start really railing on Jesus and the terrible God that he is, and how many of us are going to speak up and defend him? And what are we going to say in defense? Are we putting our jobs on the line for him because they say you can't talk about that here? You get fired. And when we look at Paul, and Paul says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. Like Paul, he's been beaten, he's been drugged, he's been starved, he's been in prison, he's had it all happen to him. He's been ran out of towns, he's been tortured as a result of the gospel of Christ. Tortured. Have we? And that's why I say, like, when we put it on the spectrum, we get real about it. It's really easy to say, no, I'm not. But when we look at it, are we? And that's why I said, that's why I started the sermon with, it's okay where we are. Like, don't hate yourself or think poorly of you. It's okay where we are. It's a starting point. And if you're on the other end, you're like, no, I'm golden. We're good right here. I've been tortured for Jesus. The starting point. My question then becomes, where do we go? He says, I'm unashamed of the gospel. What's the gospel? And why would he be so unashamed of it? It amazes me that every time I ask this question, like, what does that mean to us? You know the 1 Corinthians 15 answer, right? Jesus died, Jesus came, Jesus died, he rose again. Well, why would that cause anybody to want to be tortured? And what does that even mean to say that it's good news? Cool, you came, bro. You died. And you rose again. Whoopee! Right? Like, why would I want me to be tortured? What are some of the things that stem from that? Well, for me, what it does is it means that everything in here is true. The fact that he rose again confirms everything here. It means that the things that he said about himself are real. So there's no longer me needing to doubt him or what he said, or what anybody else said about him. What does that mean? That means that we have all the answers here. What does that mean? It means we know how it ends. We know who wins and who loses. We have the cheat sheet. It's just a matter of picking it up and looking at it to know what happens. Not being ashamed of the gospel, right, is the whole term behind gospel is proclamation, right? And so this unashamedness means that I go out proclaiming this gospel, right? And I think about this term and what that looks like. We don't do this anymore because we have gender reveal parties now. So everybody knows the sex of the baby that's coming, right? So we don't get excited when the baby comes per se, because we know. But maybe if you're like 50 and over, you didn't have gender reveal parties, right? So typically, and you didn't have 3D, what's that called? Sonograms, right? Right? I just know what it sounds like. You didn't have 3D sonograms telling you the gender either that you and the other parent would go and see, right? Because you could go see it at my age, and I'm going to be 30. I'm 39 this year, so I'll be 40. So I had to go a little older than that, right? Don't be offended if I said 50 or over. Maybe 55. But what used to happen, right, is the father and the mother would be in the delivery room. Typically, there was nobody else. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm out of my age group here, right? So you can correct me if I'm wrong. But what used to happen, at least the way I understand it, is the entire family would be in the waiting room. Nobody knew what was coming yet. They just knew a baby was on the way, right? I'm talking about proclamation here. I'm talking about getting excited and being unashamed of something. And when the baby would come, they find out what it was. And typically the dad would come do what? He'd go run in the room. It's a boy! Am I wrong? No, that's what happened, right? Or, can I do the other side? It's a girl! And everybody go, yay! Right? That's what happened. There was this proclamation that took fold at the beginning of that life. The dad would come running out and let everyone know what was born. He was unashamed of the gender of it. He didn't care. He was coming out to announce to everyone what was here. And this is the same thing Paul is asking or saying, I do. I'm unashamed of this proclamation of running out and telling everyone this gospel. Even if it means I'm beaten, starved, locked up, thrown out, stoned, shipwrecked, right? Whooped. I'm doing this. And I'm yelling it from the rooftops. But why? What does it say right after that? Because it is the power of God for the salvation of everyone who believes. Is that important to us? Is the power of God important to us? Is salvation of others important to us? Is it? Or is just my salvation important? I'm just asking us to hold it up and say, here's the unashamed, here's the ashamed. Where does that fit in this spectrum? Where do I stand with that? Do I know the power of God? Do I know it? Have I experienced it? And this is like my wrestle always with the disciples. Right? They were average Joes, just like us. Farmers, fishermen, tax collectors, right? Zealots. And when they were with Jesus, they were always doubting. Jesus always like, what are you guys doing? Like, you still don't believe yet? Like, you're still lacking faith, like constantly, right? Like, this is the part of the Bible that should give us hope. It should make us excited. It should make us feel good. It should connect with us because, like, they're not superhuman. They're not freaking on another level. They're just like me. They still struggle the way that I do. They still feel the ways that I feel. And then something happened. Spirit came upon them, right? We went over this in Acts. And now they act like they're superhuman. Their shadows be healing people, right? They're telling people, I know I ain't got no money for you, homie, but look, check out. What I do got, I'll give you. In Jesus' name, get up and walk. And he gets up and walks, right? Like, all of a sudden, these things start changing. All of a sudden, now, and the part that I really want to get to in Acts with you guys is they get beat for Jesus. What do? They don't go, oh man, we need to stop this. No, they go, high five, chest bump, boom, right? Like they're forearming each other, right? Like the Bass Brothers used to do, those of you who are a little older and remember the Oakland Athletics, Mark McGuire, they can say these bash each other, right? Forearms. That's what they do. And they go home and they pray for more power, more authority, and more willingness to go out and do it again. Anybody was scratching your head when you hear that? Like, really? Are you guys really going to go do that? It says that the Spirit filled the house so much that it began to shake. It began to shake. Talk about the power of God here. That this gospel, the reason that Paul was so unashamed and so willing to run out and experience everything that he experienced was because he knew the power of God. He was killing Christians, right? He was locking them up and was proud about it and was walking, and Jesus embarked. Paul became blind. He falls to his knees. And Jesus is like, why are you doing this to me? Why? Let the power of God at that moment. Oh. What does our experience with the power of God look like? And this is why I always, I don't know if I say it here very often, but I always say, what is our Damascus experience? When have we met Jesus face to face? May not be cognitive to some of us. Some of us know in that moment when we met him. Other of us have to think about it just a little bit. But we've met him face to face. And that's why we became new creations. That's why we sit here and listen to the crazy Mexican running around the stage, talking about chest bumping and forearm bashing. Talking about people being old, right? Like, that's why we listen to him. But what is our Damascus experience? To know the power of God. When we look back and we see where God has brought us from, can we see that these things happened only because God made them happen? Or do we say, oh, we got lucky there? That could have gone real bad. Or do we say, that's cool that stuff happens for you, but that doesn't happen for me? Or I just don't do anything wrong, so I don't need God the way you do. You really broke it. Heard that too. I behaved myself. But God doesn't really have to help me all that much. He just needs, whether it's a lot or a little. Sin is sin. But like, what is the power of God in our life? I've been wrestling with this, right? This is a personal note, right? I've been wrestling with this. And texting Hefty and another worship guy that we have on our team, we've kind of created this accountability group together, right? And so we're talking and wrestling with self-centeredness and pride. And can I fully give myself over to Christ completely? Or I no longer exist? Or the wants and the desires of Martin no longer matter? But saying, Lord, whatever you may want to do with me, I'm okay with it. No matter the cost. No matter the cost. I was like, no. There's some things I still want to do. There's still some places I want to be. There's still some dreams and hopes that I would like to have happen. And so I tell myself that what I'm doing for God is sufficient. It's good enough. I moved to the ghetto. I minister in there. I go all over preaching. Isn't that enough? I work for pennies. Isn't that enough? You want me to do more? Right, that was aggressive. My God, what more would you want? He's like, I want your heart. I mean, this is what I'm texting. This morning on my drive here. Yeah, I was texting and driving. On my drive here. I said, it's a heart thing, man. It's a heart thing. That's what the wrestle is right here. This is the whole unashamed gospel and power, right? It's a heart thing. Like, where's my heart? And who does it belong to? I know the power of God. There is absolutely no denial about what He has done with me. There is so much evidence in my world about God working in it. So much. There's also so much evidence of me trying to take control back over and do the things that I want to do with it. I tell you guys all the time, I definitely would not be standing here in front of you here in Oakdale if there wasn't a God. Definitely wouldn't be. Definitely wouldn't be ordained here in the CRC if there wasn't a God. Definitely. He made me speak a language that I couldn't even speak. And those of you who are familiar with the process of being ordained in the CRC, you have to be able to pass a language equivalency exam in Greek and Hebrew. I could do the Greek, that was easy, I got 100 on that. But I took immersion Hebrew. Didn't learn no verb or noun or sentence context, nothing. Nothing. My professor even said, sorry, bro, you weren't prepared for that. Like, you're not going to pass. Sorry. We failed you. Then I went to a different seminary. I don't know about you, but I scored 95 on the test. I couldn't even answer those questions in English. Barely. You want me to do it in Hebrew? All right. Like the power of God. Hey, where's the power of God in my life? What does it mean for salvation? Do I want you to be where I'm going to be in the end? Do I hope, right? This is the whole love God and love neighbor ourselves. Like, do I hope that you are with me in the end? And if I do, then why aren't I telling you about Jesus? About this gospel? I was telling some of the people here earlier today, this morning, there's a movie out called American Gospel. You guys all might want to watch it. The record world, right? But it's written by a bunch of Reformed pastors, Westminster professors, and the movie opens, it goes straight for the heart, like right out the gate, right? He's an ex-Muslim dude. And he's like, I've interacted with Christian people a lot in my time as an American Muslim. He's like, but none of them ever told me about Jesus. He goes, so I came to two conclusions about that. Either one, they didn't understand the gospel, so they didn't tell me about it. Or two, they didn't care if I ended up in hell. I went, that's straight to the heart. Like, out the gate, like the first 30 seconds of the video, that's what it opens with. Do I care about where we go? I was actually devil's advocate on the flip side, right? If I was that other person, would I want somebody to share that with me? Oh wait, I was on that flip side. And somebody. This gospel is the power of salvation to all who believe. All who believe. To all who have faith. And not that I have to do something spectacular in order to earn it, but have faith in what Christ has already done for me. It's already been done. It's already been done. This has absolutely nothing to do with how well I behave. It has everything to do with what He's already done on the cross for me. Why does this matter? Because I have a hope that people who don't know Jesus don't have. I know where I'm going to go in the end. And so no matter what happens to me here on this earth, it is what it is. It is what it is. He doesn't promise me beauty and wonder and a $100,000 a year job. He promises me suffering and persecution. He promises me that I'm going to be lied and spit on and talked about and mistreated. But they're not doing it because of me. They're doing it because of Him. That's what He promises me. He promises me to expect pain as a follower of Him. Am I okay with that? Am I okay with that? Because I know that no matter what happens, He's with me. The power of God is with me. It's with you. It's with all of us. For the power of God for salvation for all who believe. But you can't take that away from me. You can't. Because He won't let you. So where are we at? Find yourself on the spectrum. And then just establish the direction you want to move. It's already been done. God does not give us a job that He has not already prepared us for. We are. So to move towards unashamed, He's already given us the strength and the ability to do it. He's in there with us. Going through it. right? As I wrestle with, are we even making a difference? Right? Are we making a difference? Read it one more time. I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for the salvation of everyone who believes, first for the Jew, then for the Gentile. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed, a righteousness that is by faith from first to last. Just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith. I pray and hope that you believe that God is a good God. Because as we believe, His righteousness is revealed to us. And if He is a good God, He always does what is right and what is just. And whatever comes, He's taking care of. Let's pray. Father, we come right now. We're so grateful for who and what you are, the things that you do, and the ways that you work. And it's such a hard topic to wrestle with, Lord. Like, are we embarrassed of you? Do we take pride in you? Do we give you thanks and praise for everything that we have, or not? And wherever we are, Father, I pray that you just move us in the direction that you're calling us to. That we have hearts of submission, that we have hearts of willingness and desire to want to walk hand in hand with you, no matter what the cost, no matter what it looks like. It may not be glamorous and pretty, it may be rough and ugly, but that we trust that you are a good Father. That you are a good Father. And that you always do what is right and what is just, and that you want the best for us, even more than we want for ourselves. So we thank you for going on the cross and dying for our sins, taking the weight of the wrath of the Father upon your shoulders for us, so that we can stand victorious in you before you. We thank you for all that you do, Lord. You're such a good God, and we don't thank you enough. And so I pray that as we move into this week, that we remember that, and we stop constantly just to give you praise and thanks for everything that you do. We love you, and we thank you. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.